Hey guys, it's Sam. I thought that I would go ahead and update everybody after my planner meltdown of last week. Yeah, that was kind of rough. And I've had quite a few people checking in, sending me messages, asking if I've gotten this figured out yet. And the short answer is yes, I think so. I don't want to try to predict like what is going to be the rest of the year because it's kind of, I don't know, kind of dizzying and jarring to go into a year feeling very peaceful and at ease. And a lot of times when we are in the planner community and we have all of these kind of big dreams for the new year and we pick out the most nifty new perfect planner and then realize it's not for us, it's kind of understandable because we are going from one thing to a very different thing. And then of course you look back and you're like, well, how could I have thought that that would work? But when I'm going from a planner that I have used, more than not, but consistently for years, and used almost exclusively that planner for all of 2024, it's very crazy to step into something that just has a different paper and to feel a completely different experience and to have such a kind of visceral reaction, a negative visceral reaction to it. And I got a lot of helpful comments. I got a lot of supportive comments. Unfortunately, I also got a lot of comments from people saying that they had the same experience with the new Tomoe River paper. And whether it's the new paper that they had to move to, or whether those of us who are experiencing this had part of the faulty batch that I guess I've now heard is a known thing. It was very stressful nonetheless. And I would hope that if you're here watching this channel about planners and planning, that you wouldn't think that that's a silly thing to say. My planner is much more to me than just a place to plan. I like to document my life, and for someone who's not big into journaling, that has been something that has meant a lot to me, to have a little place to put the snippets of my day for going back and reminiscing later. So to have something that I just knew was still going to work for me immediately kind of crash and burn. I was not ready for that kind of stressful feeling. I'm not going to leave out the idea that I will update and be back in my Hobonichi weeks at any point this year. A lot of people, well, not maybe a lot, there were quite a few comments that were like, just switch your pen, that's easy. But if you have been here with me on this ride for any length of time, you will know how difficult it was for me to find like my pen match for this planner. I won't bore you with all of the details again. If you've been following along for a while, you already know what all of the reasons are that I ended up with that pen. So I have a lot of anxiety around trying to change that up because it took me so long to find that like perfect match for that paper that I struggled with. Maybe down the road when I've gotten over the like hurt and anger that Hobonichi has betrayed me, maybe I'll step back into it. But for now, after a couple of days of trying to go back in and update it in the evenings, I was just, I'm gonna walk away for a moment. And so that kind of led me into where I am now and then what I have added, because I kind of had like an identity crisis, I was like, okay, so I know I can plan in rings, but this is not where I feel like memories go. So what is next? What do I do next? So this video is going to be about what I chose and why, other things that I have kind of in the background, and if I'm doing anything with them, and what I chose to replace the Hobonichi weeks with. So if you're interested in hearing what I'm using and why, stay tuned. I hope you have a warm drink. Like 4 inches of snow here in Northeast Ohio yesterday, and we've had, I don't know, maybe 2 to 4 inches previously. So we have a good bit of snow. We've been spending a good portion of time indoors, and I was stressed for a bit, not gonna lie, but I ended up deciding, I think you could tell at the end of my video that I was probably gonna end up going into personal rings. Now I do still have and love the cover that I showed you guys in that video. I have a multitude of ring binders though, And one of the things that I like to do is to make my planner feel fresh and new is to just go into a new cover. And I was thinking about how I really like the Filofax Malden, and I had taken the pen loop out, and I decided to take it out and clean up where I had cut out the pen loop. And so I did do that, and then I was just like, maybe I'll move in. So my planner is mostly functional. There's very little in here by way of any kind of deco or anything like that. And I don't think that I'm even gonna do like a full flip through at this point, because I'm still working my way through. This is much more filled than I normally have my planner, and that's partially because I do have a lot of weekly inserts in here at this point, and then quite a bit of notes pages because of how I want to use this planner. So before last year, I was using the Hobonichi Weeks for my planner / my memory keeper, and then I was using this Sidekick notebook from Pen and Gear. It was working just fine. And again, I think that if this little snafu had not happened with the Hobonichi paper, we would just still be riding on into the sunset together. But it didn't end up happening that way, and now I have to pick up the pieces and move on. Off I jumped back into my personal rings, and so far, so good. I have made a couple of alterations, and like I said, this is not like a full setup, but I'll just show you kind of the main places that I am kind of bouncing in and out of on a daily basis. I haven't even changed any of the decoration that I have in here. I had a dashboard that I made myself, this here, and Canva, and I think I still have a link for it somewhere. If you go to my Instagram, you can just download this. I think I only may have it in personal size up, but there's a link to my Google Drive if you want that. I do have a lot of like little easy places to flip to. So my like main used areas on a daily basis, I have the Filofax clear ruler, and I have it attached to my monthly that we're currently in. I think that I'm going to use this little section down here to replace what is my favorite spot in the Hobonichi Weeks, and it's not going to be the same. I usually use an insert to do like my cycle tracking, but I think that I might do that here. I haven't fully decided. I haven't fully decided, but I think that I'm going to utilize this like that. The only other thing that I could think that I would come in here and do would be to track my steps. But I have all of those, you know, all of that information in my phone, so I can take a minute and not like rush into things. But it's weird because I had ordered the monthly for the Filofax, and I got it in from Amazon, and I only have things written down through August because when I opened up the pack, I didn't even think. I just opened it up, I put it in my planner, I started writing things down, and I get to August and it looked like almost like, you know how when you get a receipt, they're like thermosensitive and there'll be like a really big black patch if you like leave it laying in your purse or it's exposed to the sun. It kind of looked like that all over August, and I was like, what the heck? So I did an exchange for Amazon, and then I plopped in this part of the year because I didn't want to send back like used inserts. They aren't going to be able to reuse them anyway, but still. Anyway, I really like this particular insert from Filofax, and I actually do really like the Filofax paper. Yeah, okay, so that's monthly, done. The weekly that I'm currently using is this Peanuts Planner Co. week on 2 pages with like all the lists and things. And I don't usually have a lot going on in my life. So these boxes are basically the information that I put on the left-hand side of my Hobonichi Weeks when I like, you can have 3 partitions for the left-hand page. And I usually take one and I put my appointments on that. So that's basically what I'm using these boxes for. And everything else is just the crap that I need to keep up with on a daily basis. And I just went to the chiropractor. Yeah, so this is where things are happening on certain days. I have been utilizing these page flags, and I just have the workouts that I like to do during a given week. And at the beginning of the week, I just kind of place them on the days that I'm hoping to get that workout done. And then I put what workout I actually did get done here. It just helps me with decision making. But this is an insert that you can find as a freebie on Peanuts Planner Co.'s Facebook group, but this is a custom of her freebie. So the freebie, there's a line down the middle here, and there's a line down the middle here. And then you can also go in and edit. So we have edited the dates into different spots. But if you like this and you could live with the smaller sections, you can get it as a freebie. She does also offer customs. The last I checked, they weren't live, but you could always email and see if she would do a custom. I would think that she'd be okay with giving you a custom if it was exactly like this, because she would have no more work involved in doing it. But this I've loved, and it's probably my favorite weekly ever. So I did think that I would go ahead and take some of these out. So what I did the other day, I had a major printing session. I've printed out enough of these for the whole year, and I went ahead and cut and punched and dated all of the weeklies through July. And then I wrote myself a little note here because this is the end. So I'll put more of the ones that go front and back here. And this will be like for the last day of the year, if hopefully I make it that far in this planner. So I think I am gonna go ahead and take some out because I don't like my planner to be exactly this this chunky. But that was before I put in some notes pages, and it needed a little bit of, I don't know, I don't like it too thin, and I don't like it to be too chunky either. One good thing when you have a little bit more in your planner is the rings don't get in the way as much. And I haven't been slitting my pages, which is unlike me, but I've been trying to use and work around the rings as much as possible. Again, this is going to be a messy functional planner, and I don't have to worry about it being like the memory keeper. This is where my brain needs to put all the stuff on paper that's swirling around inside this crazy head. Okay, so the weekly is also on a clear, whatever this is. These had been in my planner this particular week. So this one does have a slit and none of the rest do. So these are all printed fresh. The next section is just kind of the dumping it out of my head daily section. And I have this particular page sectioned off with this really kind of heavy duty clear Filofax. I don't know, you can pop in and out. And it has this little tab on here so that you can find where you are. I don't think they sell these anymore, but I got this ages ago. So this is so, I'm trying to like, what is happening in my life? So you've heard me probably scream it from the rooftops. I can't write straight. I need to be able to have lines, grids, something. I don't even like dot grids, but I like the not white paper, and I have just been putting like the daily stuff, the lists and all of that here. No lines, no anything. And I know that I can easily get this paper, and I really like the way it writes. I have been using this Unijet Stream. This is the Light Touch. And so it's like a new kind of ink that they have been using, and they have it in a couple of different pens. And I was really hoping this would be a little bit deeper of a mustard color, but it's fine. And it's kind of really lightweight and chintzy feeling, but it's nice to have a multi-ink pen around. This one also has a pencil on it, but it has the red, green, blue, and black, and I really love the ink. I have quite a few pens already with this particular Light Touch, and it just glides over the paper so nicely. And it's just kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's just nice to use my regular pens and not have to worry. I've been really on a ballpoint binge lately, and I have not thought anything about it. Is there a pen nearby? Yes. Can I just use whatever pen is sitting there? Yes. Is it the same pen that I just used 5 minutes ago? No. And that is making me feel so happy to not worry about it. I feel so free. Okay, so I've just been using this as my dailies and really enjoying it. I've been carrying around just one of these Mr. Pen, like, I mean, I use them in my Bible, but I don't know. I don't care. I'm just it's working. I can use whatever I want because the paper's not finicky. It's great. And then the other section that I'm using on a daily basis is this like health section, and I don't know what we ended up doing. Apparently I either cut it wrong or we didn't print it at scale. This is part of the yearly bundle from Peanuts Planner Co. And I'm tracking my workouts here, which I had hoped to do on in my Hobonichi weeks. And there is some bleed through, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm tracking my workouts. I have my workout key here, and then I'm trying to do a gratitude of the day, which is a tracker here. So it's just kind of nice. I feel like I'm getting a lot of things done. I'm getting a lot of things out of my head. And so I track my workouts here and I do my gratitude, and then I have all kinds of notes and stuff. And I have a couple of things that I want to add, and there's other things in here I'm not showing you, but I just feel like the other stuff isn't fleshed out enough really to share at this point. And then in the big back pocket, I have some little sticky, translucent Post-its right here. Yeah, so this is working really, really well. And it has been a little, I've had to get used to carrying something larger because this is heavier, thicker, bigger in all ways than the Hobonichi Weeks. But it's been working really, really well, and I'm really, really happy with it. Then when I decided this is what my planner is going to be, I had to kind of go through well, then what is my memory keeping system going to be? Because I have been using a weekly planner as a hybrid for memories and planning for so long now that I kind of had a mental breakdown, it seemed, because I didn't know what to do. And everybody kept suggesting sterling ink and a plethora of but then I had other similar like Hobonichi Weeks dupes. And that's really ultimately what I wanted to do because I really love my Hobonichi Weeks size and I love the covers that I have for it. And I wanted to kind of keep it the same but make a change. But I did have several people come on and say that they were also having the same issues with the new batch of paper in the sterling ink planners as the Hobonichi Weeks. And so there was a couple of pages that the Hobonichi didn't have that sterling ink did. And then of course there was the grid on the left-hand side where Hobonichi Weeks does not have it. But otherwise I was like, okay, so I have a couple of things that I might like with that planner, but if it also has the same problem with the paper, why would I spend money on something that I might end up in the same spot that I'm in right now with the Hobonichi Weeks? And I don't know. I really think that they're lovely, but they also, I don't know. I really like the quirkiness of the Hobonichi products. So ultimately, for now, I've decided the sterling ink is not it for me. So after a lot of late night scrolling and hyperfixation and overly thinking about this, I had already ordered a pocket daily Moleskine, and I don't remember if I had it when I did my last video or not. This was like, I don't even remember why I ended up getting one, but I did. And I had started using it kind of like a diary, and then I thought, it can be, here's the thing, it can be whatever I want it to be. And so when I feel like a diary entry, I'll use it as a diary. If I feel like it being a running to-do list that just shows that I had a really busy day today, but I'm not in my feelings and don't want to do that on a page, it can be whatever I want. I kept running into this, well, this is what this book is for, and this is what this book is for, and this is what this book is for. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's just a notebook. It can be whatever I want it to be. And if I want it to be something different every single day, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I have been using this book daily, and this can be anything that I want it to be, but I have decided that this spot is going to be the replacement for the Hobonichi Weeks. And like the personal rings and the paper that I'm using for this planner, this is, and I know that some people have an issue with Moleskine paper. I do not. And I love this book. And I used the large last year on and off. And sometimes I used up the space, but most of the time I did not. So I decided that this little pocket daily guy is exactly what I wanted. And I've not been using fountain pens. I will say that. I'm kind of on the, I would rather use a gel pen or a ballpoint pen than a fountain pen right now. That's just the place that I'm in. If that changes, I have plenty of fountain pens around to change my mind with. But for now, it's the same thing as the ring planner. I can pick up any pen around me, and that's the pen that I use. I was using the Uni Jetstream in here. I was using, I don't know what I have written here. I was using this. This is the Energel 0.5 needlepoint. It's one of the Klenas, but it's like brown ink, and it's fine. It's perfect. I just pick up a pen and I write with it. So I love this layout. I love that there's a spot for you to do the weather. I feel like maybe there'll be days when it feels like there's not enough room. But for the most part, I know that this will be usually enough space. This is the Myrtle Green. This is the soft cover. And again, the only gripe I really have with the Moleskines is that it doesn't make sense to me to have a month on one page, even if they were bigger spaces. And they have enough. I feel like there's so many other well thought out things inside of this book. I don't understand why they can't make this month on 2 pages. It would make more sense. My brain would be happier. Please, 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 please change this. Somebody go storm the doors and let them know you need to change this. So I also thought that maybe since I can't really effectively plan in this, and since it's a memory keeper kind of thing, maybe I will track my cycle and symptoms and stuff in here. But again, I haven't made any kind of decisions. I haven't plopped a sticker on here because as soon as I plopped a sticker on any other book, the world came crashing down around me. So I plan on using some stickers and some washi and using up some things that I have hoarded in my stash. And I ended up getting this absolutely gorgeous. Everybody, please, let's look at this with me. I love this. This just came yesterday. This is from Jenica's Journals. I feel like you know that I'm using like 2 brands at this point. Sojourners and Jenica's Journals. So this is the same leather that was on the front of this, and you can see that it's gotten some really nice patina. So this is I forget what she calls this, toasted marshmallow, and then I forget what this one is, but it has all of these glorious wrinkles, and it looks like somebody just flecked it with paint, but this is part of the dyeing process. So it's got all these gnarly edges and the little like beauty marks all over it, and it's got lots of texture and variation, and it's absolutely delicious. And so just adding something like that, is it necessary? No. Can you use this on its own? Yes. But I don't know, it just kind of adds a little special feeling to it, and it just makes me smile. So that's what I have decided to replace the memory keeping portion of the Hobonichi weeks with. And then just real quickly, because these 2 did come up in my last video, I have decided that this book is going to be whatever I want it to be at any given time. I did 1 page of a Bible study. I did a longer journaling entry. Other days I have to-do lists. And I've just decided, again, it's just a notebook and it doesn't matter. And I love this paper as well. And so it's here for me. It doesn't have to be designated as anything in particular, nor do I have to use it daily to appreciate it. I'm trying, guys. I really am trying. And then this was the surprise for me, because I think in the last couple of videos where I have talked about this, I really thought that this was gonna be like the thing. I was really drawn to the color, and I like the idea of the hardback, and I just wanted to use it. The negatives were the dot grid. It's just not my favorite. So I decided I was going to do a 30-day journal prompt challenge. And I've done this every single day. And what I have discovered while using this notebook for this challenge is that I do not like this paper at all. I don't. Like when I first do my first couple of words, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And then I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. Now, I am going to try to change up the pens to see if I find something that kind of hits the spot, because it would be nice to continue finding different journaling challenges and to fill this book up completely. But if I can't find a pen that I like in here, I am going to abandon this book after 30 days. And I probably will just do any further journaling in this book because I do like this paper. So I survived this planner crisis. I'm still, here's the thing. I think that Hobonichi has always done a really good job of listening to their customers. I know there's like the brands that do listen and the brands that do not, and Hobonichi does. So what I'm feeling like right now is that I'm still kind of salty about this whole thing. Why did you betray me, Hobonichi? That's how I'm feeling. But I feel like those feelings will kind of wear off over the year. We'll see if I end up back in the Hobonichi weeks in some capacity. It's not going to be the daily carry because I just don't think that I can go back to that because of this paper. But I do believe that they will correct whatever train wreck this was that happened this year. And I do want to give them another chance, and I will probably... January Sam is saying that September Sam will probably buy another Hobonichi Weeks. But who knows? Depending on how things go with this, the Moleskine is also a readily available book. And if I decide that I like daily, memory keeping, maybe I won't go back. But January Sam says that it's very likely that I will go ahead in September and try this again. So that's quite a ways away, and I don't have to make any decisions right now. But for now, I really am feeling, after what was causing me such anxiety, I really am feeling very peaceful about these two. This doesn't have to come everywhere with me. If I go on a trip or something, obviously I would bring it with me, but I'd update this in the evening. I basically use this page the most during the day, and I also will look at this. So these two spots generally where I am during the day. Then in the evening I come in and I update all of my trackers, and I come in to like my health section and I update my workout and I update my gratitude, and I do the journaling prompt challenge, and I do a little snippet in this. And it's not too much because it's small little things. So for now, it's not too much. And so far, I'm really enjoying the practice of it. So hopefully this continues. I'm trying not to overcomplicate things, but I think the crisis has been averted. Let me know what you think. And if you have been unfortunate enough to find yourself on the bad side of the Hobonichi paper fiasco for this year, what have you chosen as a replacement for what the Hobonichi Weeks was going to be? Are you just suffering through? Yeah, can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments below. Thank you all so much for your supportive comments over last week's video. I felt like this was not anything that I saw coming, and I was pretty brokenhearted about it. But this week is looking a lot brighter, and I'm in a good groove, I think, which you know how that goes, YouTube's curse. But this is going to be January no matter what. I'm going to avoid that. So I hope you're ready for more content like this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for joining me, and I hope to update you with another happy planner post soon. Bye guys.